Hey everyone, welcome back to the Coffee with Creators podcast. I'm your host, Rob Balasabas. Really glad that you're here. I am so excited to be sharing this new episode with you guys. It's just been such a busy season. I actually just got back from NAB. So if you guys were at the NAB, I know a lot of you were there. I saw a lot of you there. And funny enough, I actually met up with our guest in person at NAB, and so excited to introduce our guest today. Today, I'm joined by a real true powerhouse in this world that we're in of digital media and technology. I am blessed to call him a friend, Mr. James Hicks. James is the founder of Hicks New Media and a longtime advocate for creators, for entrepreneurs, and real innovation in the tech space. He's built a reputation not just as a content creator, he's crushing that. You guys can check out all of his links in the description, in the show notes, but also as a community builder. He's live streaming regularly and has an awesome community. And he's a brilliant tech strategist who genuinely helps people grow their voice online. And so we're going to dive into his journey, the lessons that he's learned from building a media brand, and also his insights into the future of live streaming, content creation, and creator tech. So this is going to be a really awesome conversation. I'm really excited for you guys to tune in. And so before we get into our conversation with James, I just want to say thank you to uscreen.tv. That's where I hang out most of the time during the day. And so if you guys are not familiar with Uscreen, it's an all-in-one video membership platform helping creators like you build, launch, and grow your own branded video streaming service. So thank you so much to Uscreen. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's jump into this conversation with Mr. James Hicks. All right, let's go. All right, Mr. Hicks, welcome back to the podcast. I'm pretty sure you've been on the podcast at some point, man. And really glad to have you here. I missed you in Las Vegas, obviously at CES. You had to take care of some family things and some things. But yeah, man, I'm glad everything's all good. So yeah, I wanted to just get you on and catch up. And man, I was on your show a couple of weeks ago with Mel. And you're crushing it into the space. You are one of the figureheads and experts in our world here. So talking to creators, just glad that you're here, man. How you doing? How's things?
I appreciate you, brother. Now that I think about that, hopefully I wasn't wearing the exact same thing. Listen, if I'm with Balasabas, I want to make sure I'm rocking the Balasabas merchandise, but I do change clothes, folks. Things are well, man. I appreciate you for asking. You had to take care of some things due to the Southern California issues that are going on, but life is getting back to some bit of normalcy.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we could talk about that for hours. But yeah, we had a lot of folks in our world as well going through a hard season, but hopefully everything, kind of gets back to normal there.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. I'm glad that you're here. Maybe just take a minute, James, and share a little bit about what you do. I know that you help a ton of creators, which is really who tunes into the podcast and kind of what you do in the space. And then, man, I want to pick your brain on a few things. A lot of things happening, TikTok and a lot of things happening. But yeah, boring.
There is not a boring moment. This is and again, I appreciate you for the opportunity. James Hicks from Hicks New Media. I've been doing this thing, I guess, for a little over a decade. Started Hicks New Media really as a digital publishing and technology consulting agency, writing blogs, working in WordPress, really close with the Automatic family and organization and things. One of the blessings of COVID for me was when I decided that it's now time to turn on these lights, press record, and start telling stories and start inviting folks on and start telling their stories as well. So that's been a huge avenue and pivot within my organization, within my business as well, because again, I get to meet folks, we get to have conversations, we get to solve business problems, we get to solve technology constraints as well. And so I spend a lot of my time engaging with folks in terms of how to do this thing, how to go find the right camera, how to go find the right microphone, how to get in front of a company or an organization and get on stage and do some live streaming, do remote production and things like that. So talking with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, digital creators as well, similar to you, man, and just really giving advice as opposed to pointing them into one specific platform, software or hardware, right? Finding what matches best for you. So Rob, you want to do this? Here are some options. Here are my recommendations. And then I'll let you go out there and figure it out yourself, right? We can have varying tiers of a conversation, but that's really kind of a differentiation of what I do. right? Here's some options. You go out there and do the work. Take a look at some of these options and then really get comfortable with the hardware, the software, the services as well. And then we can move forward from that.
Yeah, yeah. You're really teaching them how to think and how to see the different options, and you educate them on that. You've built a really strong following on social. You built quite a community. I'm going to share my screen here if you guys are watching the video version of this. So, you on Instagram, you've helped build a really solid following there, and also on YouTube as well. You've got your website, of course. You've got live shows. There's a lot going on here, and you've got a podcast.
We out there, brother. Listen, we out there in these streets.
I love it. I love it. I have so much respect for it, man. Is there anything that you can share just, you've been doing this for over a decade, in terms of habits or strategies that you keep and practice to really continue building and growing that audience?
Learn the craft, right? Learn the craft and respect the process. Every time I do a show or do a conversation, I got to have some type of a sports analogy. Respect the process, because all days aren't going to be an uphill climb. There's going to be a lot of troughs. There's going to be a lot of down in the weeds. There's going to be a lot of issues with infrastructure. There's going to be a lot of no's, and the wins are going to come sporadically. But when the wins come, you can celebrate those because you understand what you've had to go through. That's really something that I think folks that are looking at technology, looking at social media, looking at digital publishing, looking at becoming a YouTube star or whatever the case may be, and think that this is an overnight success. Everyone's definition of success is different. And if you don't respect the process, understand how things work on the back end, you can't enjoy it. So that's one thing that I do tell folks a lot, to really be patient with yourself, be patient with understanding, be patient with the journey as well. And then as you start progressing through, you can look back at your vision board, you can look back at your journal and say, yeah, man, I started at point B last year, and look at me now, I'm at point F, and look at the growth, look at the maturation. I've gotten 10% better. So that's a huge thing that I like folks to be cognizant and be conscious of.
Yeah, that's really good advice. What's some advice though, like speaking to, there's creators out there that's going to listen to this, and they've been trying this, maybe spinning their wheels a little bit, 6 months, a year, maybe a couple years, and they're trying different things and they're testing it out and maybe not getting the traction that they expected or are looking for. Whether it's growing their audience, or maybe they have an audience, but they're not making money in terms of that they expected from that audience. It's kind of like, maybe it's like, man, I've got a decent audience, but I just can't seem to build a business around it. What's some advice that you would give to that particular type of creator in that niche?
Man, it's some hard advice, right? I mean, you got to have a thick skin, because your audience and your community that you've built, shouts out to you for that, but that might not be your audience. Your family, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your brother-in-law, that may not be your target audience. They may watch a couple of videos, or they may watch a couple of sessions. They may buy some hats and t-shirts from your merch store, but is that really your target audience for the stories that you're trying to tell? So understanding that piece right there, understanding again that this is marathon. This is not a sprint. So when you say 3 months, when you say 6 months, when you say 8 months, when you say a year, again, folks have been doing digital creation, content creation for years, and just now getting to a point where they may be monetized on YouTube, or where they may be starting to get recognition from brands and getting emails and getting calls to say, hey, can you do a pitch? Can you do a demo? Can you represent us? That kind of thing. So putting in those reps, continuing to hone on the craft, continuing to get better, understanding again that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, recognizing that, again, there's going to be more no's than there are yeses, but how do you still continue to get better? And how do you not let that overshadow you? And how do you not let that overtake you and your desire to keep going? Easier said than done, I know, right? But again, it's just putting in those reps and making sure that every time you turn that camera on, every time you plug the microphone in, every time you turn the lights on, make sure that you show up. Because if you come on live and you got different body language, if you don't look like you're fully engaged, if you don't interact with the folks in the comment section, if you don't have some pattern breaks, if you don't bring up 2 people on screen, if you don't bring up a web page, if you don't do some different types of things within your live broadcasts or your conversations, it gets stale and it shows that you're just kind of falling into complacency. So Stay on top of your craft, stay in front of what's going on in the industry as well. Know what's going on in your industry. Now, today, what's today? January 17th is a very critical day for content creators because a lot of us are on a particular platform here in the US, and that platform may turn off Sunday. So, that's a huge shift. And we got great poker faces because we're not crying about it or anything, because a lot of us have already had plans in place. We already have insurance for the most part, should that happen. And when that does happen, if it happens Sunday, it's okay. If it doesn't happen, okay. But again, being in front of technology and knowing your industry, being a student of what's going on, that's critical as well. So long answer short, man, is just don't get bogged down by it. Don't get in the weeds with the negativity, but continue to elevate, continue to grow, and continue to hone that craft. Respect that process.
Yeah, that's good advice.
I'm verbose. Listen, I'm over here with a, so in my Ustream cup. They say something about the Ustream cup.
If somebody catches your content, James, they'll see, man, this guy's like, he shows up, he's got the nice camera, background is crisp, microphone is good, smooth when he talks, he doesn't but it's like, those are years and years of creating content. Yeah. The other thing I do know about you is that you're very involved in certain brands, right? You have really strong brand partners. I just know that because I know you, but that's,
you also probably know I got some stuff about to show up in about an hour here too. If you keep seeing me looking over here, okay, let's stay focused.
Exactly. So again, it's like, I think part of it is you gotta hustle, work hard, you gotta grind it out. Early days, it's really difficult, but then you start picking up this traction. And I'm genuinely curious about how creators like yourself weigh out different opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
A minute ago, we were talking about how do you get started. Eventually, hopefully, you're gonna figure this game out. You're gonna build an audience, but then you're also gonna build relationships with brands, other creators you can collaborate with. And then with that comes opportunities. And then that's a whole nother skill set of discerning this opportunity versus this opportunity. This one gets me more audience. This one's easier, quicker money, but maybe it's just a one-time shot versus a long-term thing. How does James's mind weigh?
Yes. Because, this may be counterintuitive to what a lot of folks may say or think, but let's say it. All money ain't good money.
Oh,
all money ain't good money. And if you're chasing the bag, if you're out there just looking for some quick Venmo deposits or whatever the case may be, again, I'm being facetious from that perspective, but if it doesn't align with you, if it doesn't align with your morals, if it doesn't align with your mission, if it doesn't align with your business and what you're portraying, I'm not talking. Shout out to all my folks that are out there doing that. I'm not just going to do online shopping event for something that's completely outside of my realm. I'm going to work with folks that I rock with. I'm going to work with folks of gear that I've already purchased, of equipment that I've already vetted and tested. So anytime I do a review, it's completely unbiased. That's in my terms and conditions before I even work with someone. Listen, you may get a video posted, but it's going to be completely unbiased. You can't buy me. You can't buy my vote, so to speak. And having that wherewithal and having that conversation, believe it or not, more and more brands, the larger brands, the reputable brands, more and more of them appreciate you coming correct with them like that and saying, look, you can send me something if you want to. Cool. I'll review it. I'll use it. I'll write about it. I'll check it out. And if I post something, it's going to be my opinion. It's going to be my use case. There's going to be some pros. There may be some cons, right? There's going to be all aspects of it. So you really got to stand that firm ground and not just accept or not just do any. Then you start oversaturating your stuff, and then you start looking like you're throwing spaghetti against the wall. You start looking like you're trying to boil the ocean instead of being a locked in, focused entity that you really want to be for your community and for your organization. So there you go. I'm sorry. Rob's never going to invite me.
No. They're going to be a regular now. No,
there it is.
That's really good, man. Like a lot of people take the money. Yeah, no, I think that's what you said. You can't buy me. I think that's really good advice because there are a lot of creators out there that will take the money and they become almost like an employee of a brand, if that makes sense. Like You've built an audience here. Maybe you have a small audience now, but in a year, 2 years from now, you're going to have a big audience, right? A larger audience than you have today. And if you've aligned yourself with a brand, just make sure that you really do stand behind the brand, not just because they're paying you, you know.
Folks that are looking and interviewing for jobs right now, the resume is the resume, but more and more organizations are looking back at social media history. Your LinkedIn profile, your YouTube profile, what you put on Instagram, what you put on wherever. Folks are looking at those types of things that you've done in your past to understand the character of an individual. And if you are pushing out content, pushing out information, working with industries, working with brands and agencies that really don't align with who you say you are, right? You can lie to the camera all you want to, but if I look back at the history and see that you're aligned to other types of thought patterns and things of that nature, that's just bringing about undue questions about you. And again, especially as you start talking with the larger organizations and the larger brands, they don't have time to mess around with folks who aren't aligned with their business and with their mission. So stay true to yourself, stay true to the messages that you're putting out, and make sure that you bring integrity when you have conversations with individuals, with brands, and with organizations. So across the board. And don't get caught up in just chasing individual bags. Let me just get a couple of $100 here. Oh, I got a 6-month contract for $5,000. Let me get that. But it's not in alignment with who you want to be and where you want to go. It's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it.
Not worth it. No, for sure, not worth it. How do you build your relationships? You know, how do you build these relationships with brands that are so strong? I'm just kind of getting into your mind there. Like, do you have an approach? Do you have like the way that you carry yourself? I mean, we've seen each other at conferences.
Yeah.
You're really good in person, charismatic, right? You're very good at like in terms of like connecting with people. But how do you do that online? Because you're not always going to conferences. We're not always hanging in person. So how are you doing this online? Do you have a strategy? Do you have like just really give us some of the ways that you do that? Do you have like time blocks in a week where you're reaching out to new brands, you're building those relationships? Like, would love to just get your, again.
You the one that got me looking at time blocking software, and I almost went with one particular platform that you were using, but again, long answer short, I do time block and say, literally, let me take a look at my calendar and say what I actually call them every day. So in the morning, it's called Get It Done. Then I have another one in the afternoon called Task. And then late in the evening, there's called Strategic Stuff. So I literally have those 3 items on my calendar every single day: Get It Done, Task, and then Strategic Stuff. And I've got individual things written in there for action items, things of that.
Is that because like you're more strategic in the evening? Like it's quiet, or like?
I am a eat the frog kind of guy. And from a getting things done perspective, right? From a productivity perspective, eat the frog, meaning so at night before I go to bed, I'll write down the 3 top things that I want to do the next day.
Tomorrow.
And I got the hardest ones, however many I write down, but the top 3 are the ones I want to tackle first. So I do the hard stuff first. And I'm settling down in the evening before I shut down, before my phone goes into do not disturb mode. I write down this list of stuff, the strategic stuff that I want to knock out short and midterm. Right. And then the next day, I go hit those things. But that's exactly why I do that. I'm an old dude now. I'm trying to get to sleep earlier than 1 o'clock like I used to. I can't do that anymore. So I got to lock down and get this strategic stuff done about 8:30 in the evening, man. That's me, man.
You guys still do these long streams?
We still do some of these 5-hour energy type streams, man. But see, there you go. You got me deviating again. But that's what. All right. What was the question again? Because see, again, how
are you building these relationships? What's your approach to building relationships with brands and just business partners?
One of the unfortunate things of COVID, and I appreciate you saying what you said about, because again, when I am in person, I love that, right? So I love doing the jazz hands. I love getting in front of the room. I love going around, tapping someone on the back and having that intimate conversation and connecting, looking at folks dead in the eye and say, I'm listening, I'm hearing, and all of that. But doing that online, one thing that has helped me is just to have a good catalog of content. Right, is just to have a lot of content out there that resonates and shows personality, that shows integrity, that shows creativity, that shows all the things that I want to represent as well. Reaching out to individuals at organizations. Listen, LinkedIn is truth. Y'all better get on LinkedIn and start connecting with these business-minded folks if that's where you want to have conversations. If you want to start engaging with the U screens of the world, if you want to start engaging with the eCams of the world or whomever, right? We just give some shouts out to them too. If you want to start engaging with these organizations, you find out who's running marketing. You find out who's running advertising. You find out who's running promotions and things of that. And you start making connections. You start having conversations, get in them DMs. And that really, and then show that you can bring value, that you can bring something to the table, that you're not just asking for something, that you're actually offering some services, that you bring value to that organization. So in that first email is a quick, just real quickly, what can I bring to you? Here's how I would like to partner with you. And then the call to actions, then let's get together next week between 9 and 11 if you have time, right? All of those things, reaching out, having a catalog of content, and then in that email, what can I provide you as opposed to what can you give me? And then a clear call to action. This is what we should be doing next. How can we move forward? It's hard to say no to that, right? Because again, I'm putting the onus on you. I'm telling you what the services that we can provide and how we can work together. No one's talked about dollars and cents yet. No one's talked about numbers, talked about business value. And that's, again, elevating that conversation to business value as opposed to just, well, I want to sign with Uscreen and I want $10,000 every 6 months. Come to the table with something besides just an ask and a give. Come to with value, and then folks will pay attention to that.
I love that. That's it. I mean, yeah, that's a great approach. Like even sitting on wearing the Uscreen hat, partnerships hat. I love those kind of emails, right? Because I don't have to do much thinking. You've kind of put it on a platter for me, like, hey, Rob, or hey, Brand, here's me. This is what I do. This is my channel. This is my audience. It's a great fit for you guys. What I could do is A, B, and C. And the likely result will be you getting new leads or whatever the tangible business value will be. I mean, that's kind of like perfect.
That just shows that we've put the skin in the, so not just, again, showing up and saying, hey, give me this, look at me. No, here's how we can collaborate. Here's how we can work together. And I put some skin in the game and put some work in as well. And then now the onus is on you to say yes or no, or maybe let's connect or let's not connect, whatever the case may be. But again, the onus is on you now because it's a pretty compelling story to approach you with, and you make that decision on your end.
Yeah, exactly. And brands are getting emails all the time. They're getting outreach nonstop. Something like that will show that you've done the research, that you're not just spamming brands with the same email, and you've really done the research.
I'll find out what type of coffee Mr. Balasabas likes. And put some work in and do the thing, right? I mean, you got to do it. If you want, that's how I would want someone to come to me. The majority of emails that I get, I can tell they're form letters because one, it just says, hey, and it still has the brackets from the mail merge. Immediately get deleted. Yeah. Immediately get deleted. But if it's a short and it's to the point and it's directly to me, and we may do some business. We may at least have a conversation.
For yourself, James, what are the revenue streams that you have going on? We ask this with every guest. What's the revenue stack? How does that look for Mr.?
Again, I'm slightly different than a lot of folks, which is weird. And so, but again, I'm uniquely me. And when I say that, I have not gotten into or wrapped my head around necessarily the quote unquote workshop / masterclass mindset. I know there's value in that, and shouts out again to the folks that are doing that. Maybe one day I'll get into that when I can find a way to do it with my own persona and my own personality. But you have to have multiple streams of revenue, right? If we're locked in on YouTube, YPP, the YouTube Partner Program, bless its heart, right? Bless its heart. The checks come on the 21st of the month, which is great, but that should not be a large percentage of what you do as a business, as an organization. The majority of what I receive revenue from is brand relationships and consultancy, right? So having individual conversations with people or teams about how to spin up a remote studio, how to do production, how to build out a show infrastructure, that kind of thing. The majority comes from the consultancy side and working with quality brands. So that's the top 2, 3.5. Merchandise is always a good thing for the content creator, right? So you see me rocking the hat, you see the shirt from my man Balasabas there, but merchandise, again, that aligns with your community, aligns with your messaging, aligns with your direction, works real well.
Yeah.
I listen to my community when they tell me to make things as well that I probably didn't think this. I had a gang of folks ask me to make tote bags. I would have never thought to make a tote bag. Brother, I designed some tote bags, and next thing you know, we can't keep up. So
Oh, wow.
I'm listening to the community, but again, that came out of right field, and I was like, man, tote bags. Sure enough, hey, creators, make yourself some tote bags.
You can never have enough of those.
And then affiliate relationships as well. So separate than brand partnerships, but affiliate relationships as well is really, that's that good Amway money. That's that money that comes and keeps on giving when you don't even expect it. Oh, at the end of the year, when someone renews their subscription to Uscreen, Ecamm, Restream, whatever the case may be. Okay, I see that. So I mean, those are really some key aspects right there. And then typically charged for, I'm putting my business out there in these streets. I haven't typically charged for public speaking events and engagements because I wanted to, again, build up that catalog of content. But 2025, I think, is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have some dollars and cents around, again, getting out there. Sure. Because, again, if I can go out there and speak some expertise, if I can go out there and give you a little bit of knowledge, if I can actually give you something to put you on the right path in the right direction, then I'm going to start getting some revenue from that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to speak that into existence. 2025, yeah. We're going to start charging for your boy to get out there.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that revenue stack. That's really good. Going with like consultancy and brand deals and brand partnerships, brilliant. You know, I mean, that's ongoing. Like people are always going to grow. They're always going to need support and like guidance.
Yes.
And then brands are always, as long as you're delivering, I mean, brands are always going to be really good revenue streams as well.
Different layers of brand relationships, brand partnerships as well. Success means something different for everyone. And it could be that deposit. It could be those checks. It could be access to hardware, software, and or services as well, right? I mean, that's real deal as well, right? If I can get a couple of cameras, if I can get a couple of microphones, if I can get a couple of audio interfaces, I'm just saying what I'm looking at in front of my face. And that alleviates me from having to go out and have that expense. And then I do some reviews or some recommendations on that. That's a win-win as well. The organization and the persons that I'm talking to. If there's additional revenue streams that come in from that or for some other types of partnerships and opportunities even with that same brand. So again, you do multiple layers of partnerships with the same brand. And that's what's real key right there. Don't get settled in. Don't lock in on just say, okay, I can get free, what is this? Canteens, free drink canisters from an organization. No, how can I do something else with the same organization? Maybe with a different team, maybe with a different, with a different organizational aspect. So keep that in mind as well. Don't settle. Don't settle.
Exactly. Think bigger than just like a YouTube video or something.
Yes.
Because there's brands need tutorial videos for their knowledge base, for their help center. They need walkthrough videos, onboarding videos, right? There's so many ways.
Huge.
You can have a brand. All right, James, as we wrap up, what's on your heart to share with content creators, folks that are out here grinding, growing their audiences and trying to turn that into a business or maybe scale it up?
Don't wait. Don't just go out there and do it. Stop limiting yourself. Stop worrying about perfection. Open your mouth, press record, share. You don't have to have all the fanciness. You don't have to have all the newness. You just need to have a message. You need to have one or two people who are gathered in your name. We're getting spiritual now, right? But you have one or two folks that are gathered, then let that blossom, let that mushroom into sharing and engagement and then additional conversation. Listen to your community, but man, just get out there and do it, regardless of what it is. If it's content creation, if it's entrepreneurship, if it's consulting, if it's marketing, whatever. Don't listen to the naysayers because the naysayers are very loud. And the real folks that are going to rock with you, they may be silent, but they listen, they pay attention, they encourage, and just know that if you've got something to say, and if you got a message that you want to share, if you come with authority, if you come with integrity, folks will listen. It will continue to grow. It's going to take a little bit of time. You want it to take time. You don't want to be an overnight success. You really want to respect the process. You really want to respect the craft. You really want to be able to know what you know so you can help bring someone else who's coming up behind you. So that's what I would say, man. Just continue to evolve, continue to do the thing and do the thing, right? Don't hesitate. Don't listen to the folks that are out there saying no, because there's so many of them. Listen to yourself, listen to your heart, because when you get older and you're sitting in the rocking chair and you're going to be like, man, I should have done X, Y, and Z. Today's mid-January 2025. Go out and do the thing.
Love it. I love it. Appreciate you so much, James. It's so good. Always good spending time with you, man. Always time well spent.
You too, brother.
And hopefully we'll hang out in NAB. I think it's
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you so much. And we got to get you back on. You're always just a wealth of wisdom. I'm going to have all the links to YouTube, Instagram for James, website, LinkedIn. Please connect with him. Sharing a ton of content. You're going live and creating content, publishing new content almost on a weekly basis.
My goodness, brother. Listen,
multiple times.
We go live daily for the most part.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. That's good advice. So, James, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again very soon.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.